Welcome back to Broke Man Finance. My name is Adam, and in this video we are going to be talking about a gaming stock that has dipped low enough that now I am very interested in starting a position in this company and exposing my portfolio to the gaming sector. With the price that this stock is at right now, and plus add in the crazy growing gaming industry, this thing could be set up for a lot of growth over the next few years because I am looking at making this a long-term investment. And if you like gains, then make sure to slide down to the description below where you will find a list of links of things that I use on the daily, my financial tools that I use on the daily to help me make and save money. These things all include BillShark, Fundrise, Identity Guard, Yoda Savings for a savings account that's given me a way better return than anything else I've found. Stock Whispers for all my stock news 24/7, some great conversation in there. They pump out great option plays all the time that you can take advantage of. So make sure you go and check that out. And while you're at it, go back up just a little bit and hit that big red subscribe button so you can hang out with us for a while longer. The stock I am talking about today is Corsair Gaming, ticker symbol CRSR. And make sure to stick around to the very end because we're going to talk about their finances, we're going to talk about the news that they've released recently, and we're going to talk about what we think that stock price, that share price could look like by the end of this year. Corsair is a leading global developer and manufacturer of high-performance gear and technology for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. Corsair also includes subsidiary brands Elgato, which provides premium studio equipment and accessories for content creators, SCUF Gaming, which builds custom-designed controllers for competitive gamers, Gamer Sensei, the world's biggest esports coaching platform, and Origin PC, a builder of custom gaming and workstation desktop PCs and laptops. Corsair was founded in 1994, and it wasn't until recently they finally went public. Now, this isn't a new startup, they're just new to the market. This company is fairly mature and has been around for decades. One of those founders in 1994 was Andy Paul. He has been around this entire time and he is still there, and he is the current CEO. Since I had my first Nintendo in the 1980s, the industry has continued to blow up year after year. There's always a new console coming out. There's always a new game, whether it's esports, whatever. It is getting more and more popular. So popular, in fact, the League of Legends Championships now brings more viewers than the Super Bowl. Think about that. And the thing is, it's not slowing down anytime soon, and in fact, it's continuing to grow year after year. That's why companies like Corsair has so much potential to explode over the next decade. Corsair has high-end gaming gear like headsets, keyboards, gaming chairs. They have streaming gear like streaming decks, mics, lighting. They have PCs and all kinds of accessories. They have sponsored gamers and sponsor numerous esports teams. Point being, they are doing a lot of stuff in the gaming space. And over the past few years, they made some key acquisitions in order to be able to offer the products that they're currently offering. Look at this timeline over the past few years because it is screaming aggressive growth. And I just don't see them slowing down anytime soon. On July 26, 2017, Eagle Tree Capital entered into an agreement to acquire a majority stake in Corsair from Francisco Partners and several other minority shareholders in a deal valued at $525 million. On June 27, 2018, Corsair announced that it will be acquiring Elgato Gaming from the Munich-based company Elgato, excluding their Eve division, which was spun off as Eve Systems. That was a huge acquisition for much more exposure to streaming. On July 24, 2019, it was announced that Corsair Components acquired Origin PC Corporation, another big acquisition for higher-end gaming PCs. On December 16, 2019, Corsair announced its intention to acquire SCUF Gaming. This is a company that allows you to customize your controllers and headsets. And this past November, they acquired Gamer Sensei, the world's biggest esports coaching platform. On August 21st, 2020, Corsair filed registration documents with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, for a planned $100 million IPO. And on September 23rd, Corsair officially went public. Now, they are currently trading for $31.97 during this dip, and I think it is a terrific entry point for an aggressively growing company like Corsair. Now, obviously, I would have liked to have gotten in September whenever the shares were trading for $14 and $15, but they are still a ways off from that 52-week high. So this is with the recent announcements they've been making, I just don't see this one dropping too much lower. If it drops a little bit more, fantastic. But anywhere around that $30 mark, I think it is a buy. Anything underneath it, I will consider it a strong buy. Now, this is a company that's been around for decades now, literally. And over the past few years, they have really started to ramp it up because I think they want to become much more competitive in this space and grow this company very quickly, because I think they have big plans over the next few years. I just don't believe they are done with acquisitions as of yet. They had a phenomenal 2020, and some of that obviously can be contributed to the Roni because people were playing video games much more frequently. And so, yes, I'm sure that had a lot to do with their increased sales, revenue, their debts being handled. But if you look at the years prior, they were still heading in a very good direction, and I think they're on par to beat those 2020 numbers this year. Even with the economy and everything opening back up, that is a good sign of growth for this company. Corsair's revenue increased by over 70% compared to the same time last year, ending Q4 2020 with a revenue of more than $556 million. Full year 2020 revenue increased by over 55% to $1.7 billion. But again, thanks to Roni, video games are a bigger industry than movies and North American sports combined. Let me read that one more time. Video games are a bigger industry than movies and North American sports combined, thanks to the pandemic. Now, that is a massive statement, and I'm sure those numbers probably aren't going to be as good next year as they were during the pandemic, but I'm sure they're still going to be strong. This industry is booming so much, you really need to consider exposing your portfolio to a piece of this industry. It's just getting so big now, it's just hard to ignore. Whenever I was a kid, most of our parents and grandparents, they never played video games. But now, we're all those generations that had that first generation Atari and Nintendos are becoming parents and even grandparents. And now you have 2 and 3 generations of families playing video games. That's an industry that is hard to ignore. Look at this CAGR from 2017 to 2020, 25.7%. You can see here where their product categories ranked whenever they were going against competition like Logitech, Razer, Microsoft, etc. In keyboards, they were second, mice third, headsets fourth, streaming peripherals second, performance controllers second, memory first, cases second, power supply units first, and cooling solutions first. There are no sales. No one thinks that they're underweight. There's a couple on the holds, but the majority of these ratings are overweight and buy. And check out these price targets. The high is $55. The median is $49 with a low of $37. The low is $37, and they're just now trading they're currently trading now for $31.72. The average price target is $48.33. I think Corsair is going to see a jump in that share price over the next 5 to 10 years because I'm looking at this as a long-term investment. They're still a growing company. They just went public. They're a growing company. They got some great products out there, and the industry itself is blowing up more and more every single year. Obviously, I would like to see them at $14 and $15 a share. Who wouldn't? But who are we kidding? They are not going back to those numbers anytime soon, not after the financials that they've released, the news. They just released some more good news about another PC they were coming out with that was going to utilize that 11th generation Intel processor. I just did a video on Intel here recently and why I'm bullish on that company as well. But they're not going back to those lows anytime soon. Personally, I think anything around that $30 mark is a buy. If it drops underneath $30, then I would consider it a strong buy. If this was sitting at $55 to $60 currently, I would say just hold your horses and wait for that dip. But this is the dip. And I don't think it's going to take very long for it to get back to that $55 or $60 range. I can see them right back up there by the end of the year, especially if they keep on coming out with news like they did just recently with the Intel processor, and if their financials can continue to tick up and they continue to have great revenue showings and sales numbers. There's no reason this thing could not be $60 by September, October. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's going to go back to 20? How long do you think it'll take to get back to $60? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, I hope those stocks stay green. Hope you stay safe and hope everyone out there takes care.